Morning folks, and welcome to the Old Classic Car channel, and today a video with a bit of a difference. In this video I'm talking about one of my favourite classic car accessories of all, but what could it be? Could it be a nice set of badges on a badge bar perhaps, or chrome fog lamps, or even a natty set of alloy wheels? No, in this video we are talking about vintage and classic trailers. In particular, two classic trailers that we've had here at OCC HQ for a number of years, and here is a bit of a clue as to one of them: the Pratt 2 to 800 weight capacity trailers for 1951. This and another sales catalogue we will be looking at a little bit later, but firstly I need to dig out the two classic trailers that I want to talk about in this particular video. Both are examples on wire wheels and probably date somewhere between the 1930s and the 1950s. They didn't change much in design over the years, so dating them accurately is never going to be a particularly easy thing to do. But yes, I am a big fan of old trailers. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but stick with me and hopefully you'll find something in this video of interest. So firstly, we need to go and dig them out from the shelter, get them out, clean them up, and just have a quick chat about them. Okie dokie, so here we go. Here is the Pratt trailer. This is a lovely little trailer that I rescued many years ago, probably about 15, maybe 17, 18 years ago possibly. I think it was just after we moved down here. It was found on a certain internet auction site, and well, basically anything with wheels, anything old with wheels and or engine is very welcome here at OCC HQ, as you may well have spotted, and several trailers have been here over the years, but this is probably one I've had more or less the longest of all of them so far, I think. As you can see, it's looking a little bit dusty. It's been stored away under the shelter, which will need to come down at some point, so I thought today I would start having a bit of a tidy up, and the first thing to do is get these trailers out. I've made a little bit of space in the garage for them so they can go in there. This was introduced on the main Old Classic Car website in the classic trailer section many years ago. There's a photo of it full of old 2-gallon petrol cans, and they may well end up back in there. It's actually in fairly sound condition. I'm thinking this is probably the original paint and woodwork. There are a few little ventilation gaps in the boarding now, but overall it's not in too bad a condition at all. I towed it back from where I bought it. I don't quite remember where it came from. I think it was sort of Northamptonshire way, somewhere over there on a former airfield. But it's just such a bonny little characterful thing, and I think they're actually, it's actually one of those rare accessories which is also kind of useful. I mean, you could still use this now. I think this has got a fairly modern hitch on it. Well, I say modern, probably 1950s or 1960s, because that's something you have to watch if you're buying a classic trailer, is the size or the type even of the tow hitch. When you get back to the pre-war trailers, they often have a different size hitch or different type of hitch, maybe with a drop pin, a bit like those on tractors and so on. So you do have to watch that. So if you're going to buy an old trailer, or indeed an old caravan, which is something I'd like to do one day, just check the hitch, because sometimes they can change. This one says 50mm. It's a Mark II double lock hitch on this particular one. Now this may be original to it if this is a 50s trailer, or it could have been changed if this is a slightly earlier trailer, because they introduced these in the early 1930s and they were built well into the 1950s as far as I understand. And here is the original manufacturer's plate. There we go. The Pratt, I can't quite see, is that 1000 weight? Or 500 weight, probably 500 weight capacity trailer, maker KH Pratt, automobile engineer, North Allerton in Yorkshire. So that's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons I bought this, because I thought it's great to have that original manufacturer's plate on it, and also I do like these little old wire wheels as well, complete with the fake spinners. They're just cosmetic, they just cover the main hub and nut, but they look so in keeping, and these just look perfect behind an old vintage car or any car from the 1930s. Any car that really has got wire wheels on it, this just complements it perfectly, and I just think they're a really appealing little thing. You don't see too many of them around now. Obviously these reflectors are a fair bit later. It should have some of the triangular reflectors with the little circular reflectors on, but we could always change that. I've got some of those hanging up in the garage somewhere. I think for today we will just concentrate on giving this a bit of a brush down, maybe a quick oily rag just to spruce it up, get rid of some of these cobwebs because it's a bit cobwebby, Look at the original John Bull Envoy tyres. There's a bit of age on those. Still hold air, just about. Yeah, these wheels, they just want a bit of a clean, bit of oil spread over them just to keep them looking good. But yeah, it's basically a fairly solid little trailer. You know, could possibly replace the boards in the bottom, but I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment. Obviously that's where the number plate would have been. And you've got the little lift the dot fasteners that would have had a canvas cover on it at some point. I think that was long gone by the time I got this. And there is one of the smaller diameter tow balls, and it's one of these you need if you're going to buy a particularly early trailer with a smaller tow hitch. So I mean, that's a standard bolt pattern, so you can bolt that onto a modern car, but it's got the much smaller head there. So that is quite an important thing if you're going to go and buy an old trailer or an old caravan. But I think what we'll do for now, at some point I will bring the Renault out so that I can tuck the trailers in there, but I think I will now try and see if I can dig out the other trailer. We can have a little bit of a talk about that one, and then we'll have a look at some of the paperwork that accompanies both these great little trailers. Note the Air Ministry 2-gallon petrol can from the Second World War. Anyone need an old jerry can? Well, actually a couple of these are slightly interesting. These two are War Department, WD. You can see the little crow's foot, the arrow there. That was dated 1945. This one is dated 1943, I think. Still with some of the old stenciling on. So they would actually clean up quite reasonably. So these have just been stored under the shelter for many years. I'll probably keep those two. I'll also keep this one as well, because I've never seen one of these before. Another jerry can, obviously, but with the Shell logo imprinted on it. So that must be a little bit more unusual. Maybe these rode on the back of Shell vehicles. I'm not quite sure what the story is with those, but yeah, certainly interesting. I've never seen Shell logoed jerry cans before. That must be something that's a little bit more unusual. Those are regular. I think that one's military over there. It's got a plate on it, F54. I don't quite know what that means. That's just a plain one. But this is probably the most unusual out of them. I mean, the War Department ones are really cool. That's the sort of thing you would have seen on the back of a Jeep or something of that ilk. And this, I'm guessing, it's probably 1950s. But it's still got some fuel in it, actually, so at least it doesn't leak. So that's quite a good sign. So we'll probably find a home for those two and keep these three. They could even still be usable, but I've got another jerry can that is in regular use. So these are more display items, but yeah, I've never seen a Shell one before. Let me know in the comments if you've seen one of those. Did they also do BP branded jerry cans? I don't mean the 2-gallon petrol cans, I know about those, but these larger jerry cans. I wonder what the story is with that. I'd love to know why this one is Shell branded and where it would have been used. Yep, slowly getting to the trailer, and there is a little glimpse of something red, which is something that Harley is particularly fond of and remembers well from when he was much younger and, importantly, much smaller. So we'll have a look at that as well once the trailer is finally out of here. And here we go, blinking in the daylight for the first time in quite a few years, and this is a lovely little trailer. This is an Eccles. Eccles, of course, better known probably now for building caravans, but back in the 1920s they were just as well known for producing a huge range of trailers, livestock trailers, box trailers, and much more. So there it is. We'll have a proper look at that just as soon as I've cleared some of the junk off the top. There's one of those old radiator muffs. I'm not quite sure what car this is off. Obviously something with a very tall radiator grille. The new Cavendish. So I wonder what that's off. Something with a very upright grille and the starter handle hole there. And of course you could roll the centre up and down depending on whether you need extra cooling or not. So it's a lovely old thing, and I'm so reluctant to throw anything like this away. So hence it just ends up being put to one side just in case. So what is this mystery item that Harley's owned for so many years, hiding away under that blue tarp? Well, soon the answer will be revealed. I'm sure many of you will have figured out what this probably is, or at least roughly what it is by the shape. So now we haven't seen this for quite a few years. And behold, there it is. I've been joined by my youthful assistant. Now don't yank it out, just that's it. And there it is. A beautiful old, well, not that old, 10 years old. Well, how old was he when he got this? Probably 3 or 4, so about 12 years old, something like that. Morgan pedal car, and this came from the Morgan factory. Dad and a friend of his actually went down for a factory tour down at Malvern, and this was in the shop. I think it was the last one they had in there. Whether they made any more or not, I don't know. But yeah, obviously Harley outgrew this quite a few years ago, so it's been in storage ever since. So I think we can decobweb it and give it a bit of a clean up actually today. It's actually a really bonny little thing. It's made of sort of fibre, well, it's plastic actually, but it's really nicely made, and even has its own chassis plate.
Yeah, it's cool being an actual Morgan thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so at least it's a Morgan approved, sanctioned thing. 100 years of Morgan.
Is it did they only make these specially for that or something?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how many of these are around. I know one of these little side lights is full, the other one's about to fall off as well, but the other one's in the house somewhere. So we need to stick those back on. But yeah, it seems to have survived anyway.
It's plastic, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I was a bit worried, you know, but it's been on the sheets for years. Must have been here 4 or 5 years at least.
It's been a while since I've fitted that.
Yes. It's actually survived all right.
I'm still going to keep it.
Oh yeah,
It's a cool little
yeah, it's a nice thing. We've got plenty of photographs of you in this, haven't we? And it just looks quite happy and at home in the back of this lovely 1920s trailer. So let's get this lifted out and then we can have a look, see about cleaning it up, or rather Harley can clean it up. Alright, here we go. That's quite a cool little thing, isn't it? Morgan licensed Ket car based. I remember having a Ket car go-kart when I was young in the 1970s, that long ago. Yeah. It's quite a groovy little thing. Okay, well there is the Eccles trailer out as well. And there is an old trailer T-plates that someone has made up. Now this, I must confess, this is actually off a different trailer, because I also had a Tasker's trailer, Tasker's of Andover. And they produced all manner of trailers and equipment for lorries and things back in the old days. And someone donated a Tasker's trailer to the cause. They lived down in Bicester, which we've just been down there actually, and they were clearing their garage out and it was going to go in a skip if I didn't come retrieve it, so I went down to Bicester and retrieved that trailer. But I thought, I don't really need 3 box trailers, so that one went to a new home. But I did keep this came with it, so I thought, well, it'll look perfect just on the back of the old Eccles here. These lamps are probably 1950s, so these are a little bit newer. The trailer is 1920s, and incredibly I've also got the original sales brochure for this trailer as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, it's still got all the original fittings, a drop down tailgate. That's the supplying dealer plaque. I can't quite make out the writing on it. Something and Son of Wantage. But it is super original. These beautiful mudguards with the swaged, raised sections on it. And I was talking about unusual hitches. This has the patent 269427 towing pin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very famous, isn't it, Hal? And it's also got the Eccles script on, Eccles and then Birmingham. I think it says in the middle, yeah, Eccles, Birmingham. And we know it's an Eccles because it's still got the Eccles transfer on the side here, which is beautiful. So what's this? Eccles something caravan and body builders of Birmingham in the Midlands. So yeah, and again, this is another one that belonged to a gent who was really into his old vintage cars, but I think he was downsizing his house, and as a result was having to get rid of a lot of stuff, and this also was going to go in the skip. In fact, the skip was there at his house outside his garage, and this was going to get broken up and chucked inside, so I thought, I can't do that. So I ended up going to retrieve this one as well and rescue it from imminent doom. But it's so original, this is. It's still got the Eccles hubcaps on it there. Leaf sprung. It's still got the original tyres, 350/19s. What make are they? Avon sidecar, triple duty Mark IIs, no less. So that's another beauty, and it's still got the original frame for the canvas tilts. Those would have slotted in those brackets there. Harley's just making a start on the Morgan. And here is the original towing pin. So this is the original drop pin, towing pin, that would match up to this patented Eccles towing hitch. So that, obviously you'd pull the pin out and that would go in there, like that. So it's nice to have the two of those together. So I was really pleased to offer this one home. The wood in the base is original. I don't think you're going to get much weight in there. It'll probably end up going through, but it's original. And it can stay there for now. It's probably the original grey paint as well. This socket is later, much later. But, you know, you could paint it or you could just oily rag it, but if you paint it you'd lose this beautiful Eccles transfer here. So I think we'll just give this one a bit of a dust down and reach for the oily rag. We'll do both of those. And then we will accommodate them both at the back of the garage there, where there is a bit of space, and then we can carry on clearing out the rest of the stuff in the shelter. There's nothing really valuable in there, it's mostly bits of wood and old tyres, but it's all kind of useful stuff, so I don't want to chuck it out, but again, I do need to tidy up if I'm going to pull this shelter down at some point in the near to medium future. You enjoying yourself there, Hal? I thought you were. Bring back memories, eh? Yeah, it's looking good. We can take it up to Ned and Fred the shed, then you can give it a bit of a clean up. You can feature it on your channel, Hal.
Oh, I'm sorry, I nicked your rag.
You nicked one of my rags, have you? I wonder how many of these were made. Serial number 004, date of manufacturer, there you are, November 2009. I'm guessing they just made a tiny number of these to celebrate the 100 years of Morgan, 2009. So that is why, presumably, they licensed this to be built, presumably by Ketcar, and sold. Yeah, and sold at the factory itself. I don't think they were sold anywhere else. I know other people have made sort of Morgan look-alike pedal cars, but this is a proper. This is the proper Morgan. Yeah.
You say it's the last one.
I don't know, but I don't think they made many of them. Certainly.
A few of them.
And there's another sticker here for the 100th anniversary Morgan Motor Company Limited, 37th anniversary Morgan Sports Car Club of Japan sticker. That was on there as well. I'm not sure why that's there. Maybe these, I don't know. I don't know what the story is with these at all. But yeah, it's a proper Morgan licensed product, so that's really, really cool. As are these beautiful trailers. Now, amazingly, like I said before, I've still got the original paperwork. This Pratt trailer, someone kindly, when I posted this onto the Old Classic Car website, someone got in touch a few years later and said they were clearing out, I think, their parents' house, and they found an original sales catalogue for the Pratt's trailer. So they were very, very kind and sent that over to join the collection of stuff here at OCCHQ. And the Eccles here. Now, like I said, the old boy that I got this from, he actually contacted Eccles back in the 1970s and said, have you got any information on this old trailer that I've got here? And incredibly, they had a look in their archive and they sent him an original copy of the sales catalogue for the Eccles trailers, which was incredible. So both these trailers, amazingly, or amazing to me anyway, because I'm probably the only person in the country that actually likes old trailers, these have both got their original sales catalogues with them. So that was a bit of a coup, to say the least. And we will have a look at those a little bit later. But I think for now, as the weather's looking a bit mixed, we'll get on with cleaning these down, and then we'll give them a quick oily rag, and then look at putting them away. I'll have to bring the Renault out, but that hasn't run for a little while, so that won't be any great hardship. Yeah, I just love these. Let me know in the comments if you're also a fan of slightly obscure classic car accessories, such as these beautiful old trailers. Because I just think they're really characterful old things. I wonder what that carried back in the day. Harley's just off to get the sponge and a bucket of water and give this lovely old Morgan a bit of a clean up. I think we might have to defrost the sponge. Or just get another sponge. Yeah. That'll do it.
It's gone off with it.
Is it? Okay, maybe get another sponge then. Yucky. Soon be able to spruce this up and get it looking a bit more shipshape, I think. Might even wipe on a little bit of paint onto these wheels just to spruce them up a little bit, because this one has got a little bit of surface rust on it, whereas the other one on the other side is actually looking a lot better for some reason. Not quite sure why that would be. Certainly been home to a few spiders in recent years, so they're not going to be very happy, but never mind. And like I say, somewhere I've got some original reflectors which could go on here. Just got a little bit of woodworm in the bottom of the tailgate actually. I might have to treat that, because we don't want that spreading anywhere else. Let's see if I've got those the old style reflectors hanging up somewhere. So there we go. It's looking a little bit happier now. It's been cleaned up and oily ragged. So I think what I need to do now is I'll go and grab my trusty Stanley tape measure, proper oldie worldy standard tape measure, Stanley rather, and then we will, made in England, those were the days, we will measure the load space of this trailer, and then when we have a look at the little sales leaflet for Pratt's trailers, we will be able to work out which model this is exactly, so that should be quite exciting, so stick around for that. There we go, 60 inches. Well, there we go, both looking like proper Bobby Dazzlers. So they can just be airing as the WD-40 evaporates, but that'll help protect them certainly. But this is just this beautiful suede, like I say. I'll dig out the sales catalogue for this later and you'll see those are the exact correct mud guards and everything else. But yeah, it's just a lovely thing. Even I was showing Harley the hinges here at the back on the tailgate. Pop that down. Just look how beautifully cast those hinges are. That just shows you just how old this is. It's even got a little serial number plate on there as well. Yes, I know it's a bit of an odd obsession. Anyway, there's those two cleaned up. So I think next thing we'll do is, once we've had a bite to eat, we'll dig out that period literature and just have a quick look and see if we can find examples of both these great old trailers in the catalogues from the day when they were on sale new. These are the kind of reflector plates that I was talking about before, which would look fairly suitable. I mean, these are probably Blue Mel's, probably 1950s, something like that, but they would look way nicer on there compared to those. I mean, I have seen the old metal versions of these as well. I would love to have a set of those to go on both the trailers, but I can't see me finding any of those anytime soon, so I might have to do with these plastic ones. But even so, they would look better than that. So we'll just keep these, I think we'll keep these in one of the trailers, just so that I know where they are. Just put that in there, and they'll be safe in there. But yeah, if I can find some of the metal equivalents of those. And you can also get metal trailer plates, which are sort of portrait black, and they have a T marked out with these circular reflectors. and they're really, really cool. So I would love to find one or two of those as well. Let me know in the comments or drop me a line if you've got anything like that kicking around in your shed that you no longer need, because period accessories to suit an old trailer, just like with a car, are always very, very welcome. I do love this hand painted trailer T-plate. That looks like it's always been on there, but if I can find one of those slightly rectangular, square rectangular shaped trailer T-plates, I'd very much like one of those. So let me know in the comments if you've got any old period trailer accessories kicking around that you no longer need. The old Morgan's looking better for its wash, just drying off now before we put it away back in the Eccles trailer. That's probably the safest place for it, I think. Okay, well that's lunch out of the way, and what should be waiting on the step arrived this morning in the post. But this mysterious box, well, not so mysterious, because one of the followers of the OCC YouTube channel, Cyril, emailed me recently and said he was going to send this over. This used to be his dad's, and he wanted to find a home for it, and he kindly donated it to the OCC garage. A wonderful old battery charger. Look at that. Fantastic green paint. So I think this will clean up a treat. So we've got the connectors on there, we've got an earth, and either 6 or 12 volts. And that green paint looks suspiciously ex-military to me. So maybe this was produced possibly just after the war, and military surplus paint perhaps was pressed into service. Who knows? Can't see any military markings on it, but yeah, that's a bonny little thing. So thanks to Cyril for that one. That's a very kind donation, so we will clean that one up a little bit later. But while my hands are clean, let's go and have a look at those sales leaflets for the 2 trailers that we've got out today. Okay, so this is the sales leaflet for the Pratt 2 to 800 weight capacity trailers for 1951, and as we'll see, these were actually produced for quite a long time, and as I said before, this was kindly sent over to me several years ago now. But it's in virtually as new condition, this is. There we are, the Pratt Engineering Company of North Allerton in Yorkshire. And it mentions here, since their introduction in 1934, Pratt trailers have enjoyed the most gratifying and consistent success. Until today's Pratts have the largest distribution and service organisation of any manufacturer of trailers of similar type. And then it goes on to describe the various trailers within it, the features of the trailer chassis and its design, different capacities, different payload capabilities. Got some information on the Pratt trailer coupling here, but we'll just skip forward. And there we go, the Pratt Type L, the 200 weight. What a bonny little thing that is. So it's about 5 foot long, the interior of this one. So that one is 47¼ inches long. So that one's a little bit smaller than the one we've got here. And then we've got this, the L2 trailer, with a let-down door at the back, a detachable waterproof cover no less. So that's quite exciting. And then on the back of, what's that, a Morris, maybe a Morris 8 perhaps, we've got the E1 and the M1. So it's slightly beefier. How long is this one? 58½ inches or 60 inches long. So I'm guessing that's probably the one we've got here. Yeah, what a treat for this to turn up. The original sales brochure for this little trailer. And there's another one there. Slightly larger, slightly beefier construction as we go along. This is the E4, so these were available as 400 weight, 600 weight and 800 weight. What car is that? Do you recognise what that is? I'm not sure. The Pratt's Farmer's Trailer. So you've got these sort of greedy board type things on the side here just to give you extra capacity. And how about this? How nice is that? With a detachable tent type waterproof cover no less. That's nice. £42 for the 400 weight version, £44 or £64 for the 800 weight version. So that's a bonny thing. I wonder how many other Pratt trailers are still out there tucked away. This one's quite nice. It's got the frame for carrying the ladder. That's quite a neat thing. I do like that. If you've got a Pratt trailer, let me know in the comments. And look at this one with a streamlined canopy on it. How groovy is that? The streamlined trailer. Streamlined to match the new car styling, this model is the smartest luggage trailer on the road. Luggage or other valuable property can be carried and left in this trailer in perfect safety, securely locked and fully protected from the weather. So that is pretty nice, and there it is. Well, do any of those survive, I wonder? I'd love to see one of those. Then we've got the trailer for bulky loads, a 600 weight capacity Type H1 for £30, a light but immensely strong trailer with a very large floor area. There it is. Ooh, the ideal trailer for campers. I think it's just starting to rain. Marvellous. There it is. Look at that little camping trailer. And the 800 weight capacity MTS trailer. It's got some pretty beefy looking easy clean wheels on that one. So that's a multitude of uses as a trailer tool cart, goods trailer, luggage trailer, etc. So that's quite nice. And there's another one there, sign written for the North Thames Gas Board, Romford District. Lovely old, I'm assuming these photographs probably date back to the 1930s. This is a 1951 catalogue, which tells me that this trailer would actually be suitable to go behind the pilot, which is something that has crossed my mind. And we've got a few extras here and a few extra accessories for the Pratt trailers of the 1930s and various owner recommendations, endorsements from very happy, satisfied customers. Yes, all in all, a great little trailer. Even California, USA. Pratt trailers are obviously of high quality workmanship. So they obviously get all over the place. Switzerland, Grief, Aberdeen, Streatham, Northwich, that's not far from here. Walsall in Staffordshire, Ilminster in Somerset, and so on. So there we go. That is a sales leaflet for this lovely little Pratt trailer just over here. Like I say, if you've got one of these tucked away in your shed, let me know in the comments, send me a photo, because it'd be great to see what other examples of these bonny little trailers are still out there. But yeah, anyway, right, next, let's go and have a look, read up about the Eccles over there. So as I mentioned before, the previous owner of this lovely trailer actually contacted Eccles in the mid-1970s, 1975 I think it was, and asked them, did they have any information on this little trailer that he'd bought? And incredibly, they went into their archives and they sent him this. This is an original sales catalogue dated 1929 for Eccles trailers. And how fantastic a find is that? And the fact that it still survives with this original trailer. What a joy that is. As you can see, I'm rather enthusiastic about this kind of thing. Now we've got an example of a similar trailer on the back of, what's that, a Morris? Looks like a Morris to me, a Cowley. But yeah, what a joy to see this lovely old bit of paperwork. You never see old trailers, and old trailers still with their original paperwork. So let's just have a quick flick through and see what information we can find. Like I say, this is dated to 1929. How fantastic is that? Look at that. The standard size number 4 Eccles luggage trailer. So that's that one there. To carry 600 weight, 5 feet long. So this one is 5 feet long. I've just measured it with the old Stanley tape measure. 3'6" wide, hinged tailboard. Yep, we've got one of those. Dunlop tyres, 350 tyres. Internal expanding brakes with the Eccles perfected all-in-one tow pole box, which I assume is the hitch that they're talking about here. Isn't that fantastic? We've got some extras here. Tie over green rot-proof sheet and so on. Then we've got the number 6 luggage trailer here. So I'm not quite sure. So what have we got here? So that's the standard size number 4 luggage trailer. And we've got the slightly larger one with a solid disc wheel. So we're not one of those. So far it's looking like this is the one that we've got here. And then it gets more exciting. Look at this, the Eccles covered trailer. Wow. With hinged tailboard. The top, which is removable, is built of framing and plywood covered with canvas, with curtains both ends. So that is a lovely thing, that is. Again, are there any of these still around? Drop me a note in the comments or email me via the Old Classic Car website. And yeah, let me know if any of these survive. And look at this one here. I'm guessing this is a livestock trailer with a higher sides to keep your sheep in from jumping out. Very useful to farmers for carrying pigs, sheep, and other odd loads, also for market gardeners, etc. So yeah, quite a variety of trailers. And of course Eccles also produced at that time, and for many years afterwards, a huge range of caravans to tow behind your car. Some of them in the 1920s, they'd even wind up and down on the mechanism. I've seen photographs of those, and the old one it shows, and those are a real treat. I'd love to find one of those. But yeah, isn't this just a glorious original catalogue? And I'm amazed that A, the Eccles company still had these in their archives, and B, they were kind enough to send one to the gent who owned this trailer originally. But look at that, the commercial trailer there. Got a trailer chassis if you want to build your own body. What's that one there? A hound trailer. This is a trailer of which we've built a number for carrying dogs. The outside panels are covered in fabric, doors at the back with lock, and ample ventilation is provided by louvers. So yeah, a trailer for every possible purpose. And trailers for large boats is a speciality price on application. And there you go, October 1929. So what a treat that is. Like I was saying about the mudguards before, if I just open that up again, you can see those beautiful swaged mudguards there, on there, which are exactly what we're looking at on there. So that trailer is totally original. Even that transfer there on the side for Eccles, that is still there. So that is just amazing. I'm so glad that this one survived and it didn't end up going in the skip, which was waiting for it outside the garage that I got this from. Anyway, it's just starting to rain, so I think we'll get these put away. But yeah, I hope that was of interest. I do like this old paperwork, as you may have spotted, and to have the paperwork for the trailers is just the icing on the cake. Yeah, I can definitely hear a bit of rain in the air, so let's get this one tucked away again. Okie dokie, well this one's back under here temporarily. I have got a corner lined up for this one, but I can't put it in there until I move the pickup and the pilot out, so I'm not going to do that today, so that will be for another day. 4CV is tucked back in the garage, we just rolled it in and out, and there is the Eccles, complete with the Morgan on board, so that's all good, that's all oiled up safely in there, tucked out the way, doesn't really get in the way either, so that can stay there for the foreseeable future. So the only thing left to do is, I think we'll give this lovely old charger that Cyril kindly sent over, I think we'll just give that a quick oily rag and just bring out that original green colour a little bit better, and then that we'll find a little corner for that. I think it can probably, it has got a thing so you could actually hang it up off the wall, although then it would be upside down, which would be a little bit odd. But yeah, either way, let's just go and get the oily rag out again. We'll just give this a little bit of a spruce up. And as if by magic, there we go, freshly oily ragged, a little Clark's Atlas 6 and 12 volt battery charger. That'll help preserve it and just stop it getting too much rustier anytime soon. So yeah, so thanks again to Cyril for kindly donating this one. I'll go and find a corner for that one, and I think with that we will sign off on this particular video. I hope this look at old trailers, which is just a bit of an oddball interest of mine, proved to be of some interest. I guess if you made it this far into the video, well, I take my hat off to you, because I fully recognise that it's probably not the most popular subject for videos here on YouTube, but not to worry. So thanks very much for watching. Please check out the rest of the channel, like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of thing really helps, and is very much appreciated. So thanks for watching. Many more videos along very soon, so bye for now. Yeah, I just couldn't look at those modern reflectors anymore, so these are more in keeping, probably Bluemel's, probably 1950s. This is an old wooden floor panel from a Ford E83W van. It's pretty much had it, so that'll be going in the bin. But before I do that, I'm going to remove this, the old dealer supplier plate for whatever pickup or van this was originally fitted in. Smithfield Motor Company Limited, Main dealer Smithfield and Benburg Street in Dublin. So we won't be letting that go into the bin. So we'll have to try and carefully remove that from this piece of wood. I'll probably try and get a hacksaw blade in down the back of there, just to see if I can slice the pins off and then not damage, hopefully, the little plastic label, because it's probably fairly brittle. It's probably 1950 or something in date, so nearly 75 years of age. Could be a bit more, could be a couple of years less, but not much. So we'll have to be very careful in separating that from this old wooden floor panel. Well, that's one down and one to go. There we go, that came off without too much trouble. I've knocked out the remains of the nail heads, so all we need to do is just give it a little bit of a clean up with some chrome cleaner. Not enough that it's going to rub the lettering away, but just enough just to clean it up a little bit. So let's see how that comes out. And to finish off, a drop of 1952 wax polish. Quick wax polish for protecting cellulose, lacquers, enamel, protects and preserves all finishes. So let's see if it still does. There we go. I wonder what the person who fitted that originally to a little Ford van way back in the late 40s, 1950s would make of someone carefully retrieving it all these years later.